Welcome to The Know-It-All. I'm Ashley Jenkins, and I hope you're ready for an awesome weekend. But before you switch your brain off, let's step into the room with everything that's happened this week. The big thing, of course, is that Heists are now out for GTA 5, and, well, of course, they immediately broke and no one could play them. But once the servers recovered, it was great. The update also brought new vehicles, weapons, and super cute outfits, plus some UI upgrades and new graphics options. If you're hoping to get a heist together, but you're not really sure where to start, we covered everything you need to know on The Know. And while we're on the subject of super violent games, let's talk about Minecraft because it's becoming a problem, one that Turkey wants to do something about. They want to ban the game because it promotes violence by awarding points for killing enemies. Should be a joke, isn't a joke. The Minister for Family and Social Policies launched an investigation and determined the game needs to be banned, so a motion is expected in court later this year. Another big game around, Star Citizen, is really starting to get stupid big. I mean, as if it wasn't already. The game's now passed $75 million in funding, further cementing its place as the most crowdfunded project ever. Not that number 2 was close anyway, at its pitiful $18 million. And it turns out it's huge in another way, too. Nah, it's install size, which is expected to take 100 gigabytes of hard drive space. Gigabytes! Mostly this is because they're using 8K textures, which hardware can't even really support yet, but I guess, this is their way of future-proofing so we don't end up with an HD remaster in 5 years, so that's good, right? PC is getting some other bonuses too because Microsoft is launching an Xbox Live-like service for Windows 10, and surprise, PC gamers won't have to pay a gold subscription to access multiplayer, which, well, obviously they wouldn't because that's just not something you can do to PC gamers and get away with, and you just end up with another games for Windows. But understandably, console gamers are upset because they do pay for that and they'll be playing cross-platform games like iDarb and Gigantic against the PC players who get that for free. It's not the only thing console gamers are going to be missing out on though, at least temporarily, because Naughty Dog's upcoming PS4 exclusive Uncharted 4 has been delayed from its holiday release into 2016. Huge bummer, obviously, because it was going to be the cornerstone of Sony's holiday, but then again, we don't want to end up with another Assassin's Creed Unity, do we? Finally, in gaming news, there's a new console war brewing. It's not what you might think. Actually, it's Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo working together to figure out how to combat DDoS attacks that have been bringing all the networks to their knees and preventing gamers from getting online with the consoles, which is good because at GDC, Sony revealed their networks are attacked on a daily basis. Mostly, they fight those off, so it's only the really severe ones we notice, but that's still pretty nuts. You can't blame all of the different platforms for getting together to try to figure out how to nip them in the bud. If you want to join us for a full hour of gaming talk, this week on The Patch, we discuss Helldivers, Ori in the Blind Forest. I might have cried. I'm not saying I did, but I might have. And, of course, we talked about whether GTA heists are living up to all the hype. And next week, we're going to make Ryan wish he was never born. It's going to be great. We can't wait. And then again, on the esports side of things, leaderboards tackling fines, Katowice, and some wins for Optic and EG. Now on entertainment, because I know you guys are just dying to know that they've announced a sequel to Frozen. Yeah? No? Well, they're going to do it anyways. So get ready for more anthems taking over every radio station on repeat for a year. When that comes out, that's going to be a good time. But maybe Star Wars is more your speed. They've announced more of that, too. The first standalone movie is called Rogue One and will star Felicity Jones, who was recently in The Theory of Everything. Apparently, the story was suggested by ILM's John Knoll, who's executive producing, but they kind of failed to mention what that idea is, at all, so we're left guessing, and why do we have some ideas? The movie will be out December next year, and Star Wars Episode 8 will follow with its newly announced release date of May 26th, 2017. Mind you, it would be nice if we just had, 7 first. Little foreplay? I think that's reasonable. We're also getting more Ghostbusters, a lot more. In addition to the all-female movie that's already been announced, there's going to be a new guy one that's going to have Channing Tatum and I think Chris Pratt. And Dan Aykroyd and Ivan Reitman, who wrote and produced the original Ghostbusters, are getting to work on even more ways to expand the Ghostbusters universe to include more movies, TV, merchandise. Basically, they're trying to marvel it sounds like. HBO is trying to capitalize on their own success, that is, the success of Game of Thrones, with their new standalone subscription service that will let you have HBO without having to just subscribe to an entire TV package. Sounds awesome, right? Yeah, well, I hope you have Apple TV or something because HBO signed a deal to offer the service exclusively via Apple TV, iPad, and iPhone for the first 3 months. 3 months doesn't sound like long, except it launches just before Game of Thrones kicks off on April 12th, and that show only goes for about 3 months, so... On the bright side, it is just $15 per month, which is way cheaper than a full TV subscription, so assuming you have something you can access it on, it's a good way to go. And finally, before we move on to tech, Breaking Bad is having some problems of its own, even though it's gone now. Actually, it's having problems with pizza. Do you remember the scene in the show where Walter White throws a pizza on the roof in rage? Well, fans seem to think it's a great fun to reenact that scene, and they've been throwing pizzas on the roof of Walter White's house. Thing is, that house isn't an empty set. It's a house, and people live in it. So, guys, if that's you, the producers would just like to say, can you not? Thanks. Okay, tech time, and we'll make this quick. This week, Apple unveiled their Apple Watch plans, and they are pricey. At the base level, the watch will run you $350, or if you really want, you can pay $10,000 instead for it to look a little nicer, I guess. I clearly don't know anything about watches. The watch will run for about 18 hours, so you'll need to charge it each day, and it'll integrate with your phone so you can answer calls and texts, send drawings, show your heart rate, which is a thing people do, I guess. Is that how people flirt now? Anyway, it'll hit stores on April 24th, and pre-orders will open on April 10th. Or you can save that money and put it into Total Recall, because scientists have successfully managed to implant mice with false memories while they sleep. It's a bit complicated, but basically they tracked the brain activity using electrodes while the mice were running around doing their day-to-day stuff. Then, when the mice went to sleep, their brains start to replay that locational activity, and the scientists stimulated the reward centers of their brain as that happened. Then, when the mice woke up, they had positive memories of those locations they didn't have before, and they spent 45 times as much time there as they did previously or as they did anywhere else. Just think, we could trick ourselves into liking all kinds of stuff, like airport security lines. That's great! And finally, scientists confirmed what we all know. When the zombies come, the people in the cities are the ones who are the most screwed. Researchers created a model based on the spread of viruses to show how quickly the zombie apocalypse can spread. Big cities have a matter of hours, and good luck competing with millions of other panicked people to get out of Dodge. People in rural areas are much better off. Even better, Canada. Not only is it one of the lowest countries in terms of population density, but you can just pour maple syrup all over the floor, the zombies will get stuck, you're safe, easy peasy. That's it for the Know-It-All this week, guys. We're off to South by Southwest, where we'll be streaming and shenaniganing all weekend, so keep an eye on Twitch and MLG for our gaming streams there. See you next week!